Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream for tomorrow's race day, PB Lawrence Day. It's going to be a great day of racing. As I said in my preview, it feels like the spring is already here with this fantastic card. The Group 2 feature has many horses that will be competitive in this upcoming spring, running in it tomorrow. And let's put the viewer voted algorithm through its paces within the next hour to see what it can pick out. And if you're wondering how it went last week, well, we're going to take a look at some results. So we'll start with Moonee Valley. The results from Moonee Valley. And the biggest overlay actually won the first race in Nothing Else Matters. On Friday night, when we did the live stream last week, it ended up winning. So at $14, ended up getting the job done. The three biggest underlays, two of them placed. In race 2, Geneva Moose was the fourth pick in the viewer voted algorithm. It won. Bluestone and Flamin' Romans at $10 plus ended up running a place. So in terms of underlays, Fisherman's Beach did nothing. Geneva Moose won. Flamin' Romans ran a place. Race 3, Takiko wins that. It was the second highest rated. Vein Champagne got up for third. And none of the underlays did anything, and His Dream did nothing, and Her Stride did nothing, neither did Tireless. In race 4, the top selection got the job done, Oak Hill. It was actually the top 3 selections that ended up running top 3. Boston Rocks and then Mornington Glory did nothing. So the first 4 races was good. In race 5, Deep Float Diva, it ran second, probably unlucky to win, as was the top selection in Dream Zell. It was actually really unlucky, got held up. In terms of the underlays, Stolly Bolly was never really in it. Booney didn't do much, neither did Marshall Music. Dream Zell, as I said before, should have almost won. Race 6, Escher, it won, very impressive, and it was the biggest underlay in the end. It was $2. It did pretty well to win. Well, won by 4 lengths. It was very good. Top 5 selections in race 7 was Sayadati Sadati. 3 biggest overlays did nothing, but Relentless Voyager was the 3rd biggest underlay, and I wish it was still sound, but it is lame and out of the spring. Shoeless was the 3rd biggest selection, but it was also the 2nd biggest underlay, so that's no good. Reset the Jazz got up for a place. It was an overlay. And then in the last race, the winner didn't come in the top 5 selections. None of the underlays did anything. None of the overlays did anything. Who won the last race? It was Red Hot Nick. It wasn't in here at all. So looking at the first half of the card, it was good. Looking at the second half of the card, it was meh. So typically on the first half of a card, we get those benchmark 70s, benchmark 78s. And then once we get to the better races later in the card, it tended to fall away. So maybe tomorrow we can follow the viewer voted algorithm in with some confidence in the first half of the program. Razzle Dazzle, Adzi, and the Blind GK is in the chat. Hello guys, hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in, as most of you do most weeks. Let's get on to Caulfield now. We'll start with, I was looking at race 4 because I just can't stop looking at number 8 for some reason. Spanish Blaze. Anyway, it's going to be a soft track. The rail's out 9. I thought it was going to be a tailwind in the straight, but I've seen some on Get On say that it's going to be a headwind in the straight. I can't tell which way the wind's going anymore. I always get it the opposite direction. It says on the wind forecast that it's going west, which means it's a tailwind, but now due to Get On, it's going east, but it's going west. I don't know, that probably doesn't make sense. I'll just move on. So it's going to be a soft track. Let's get this little Google Docs sheet is all the races, the selections, the overlays, the underlays. For all those that missed last week, I'm going to go through a little bit of a preview of what to expect again. So we'll have the biggest overlays, the biggest underlays. I forgot to change all these whilst changing the Google Docs over from last week, so I'll just go ahead and do that while we go through all the races. There's some group races there for the 3-year-olds, Quezette and the Vein, and that looks good. We'll outline some quaddies as well. I forgot to check how the quaddies did last week, actually. Let's go through them quickly. So we were at the first leg of the skinny quaddie and the longer quaddie because what's its name won? Jennifer Moose, and it wasn't in there at all because it was an underlay. In terms of the late quaddie, didn't have Relentless Voyager in there, didn't have Red Hot Nick in there, so it was a pretty forgetful quaddie. But let's move on to this viewer voted algorithm sheet. So these are the variables. These were who, I'll zoom in a bit so maybe you guys can see a bit better. These were who selected the variables. So this is really your guy's algorithm. So, and I obviously added my input in there because we didn't get as many responses as I would have liked. And depending on the times that they get selected, this multiplier applies. So it actually means that the specific variable means more in terms of the overall score. So the track condition strike rate, the barrier, track strike rate, and distance strike rate all get a multiplier of 1.6 onto its score, meaning it contributes a bit more to the final score. And then obviously 1.4 for the 3, 1.2 for the 2, and then no multiplier if it was only selected once. This is your guys' algorithm. It worked pretty well last week. I was quite impressed. Cole's in the chat. Gala Queen is my top pick. Gala Queen. We'll see how it goes in the viewer voted algorithm. So without further ado, we'll get on to the calculation sheet. I'll zoom back out. Last week we just had the calculation sheet, but now we've got the results as well. So we're not actually going to scroll down on the calculations sheet of the Google Sheets to get the result. We're going to go onto this results page to see the overlays and the viewer voted algorithm price compared to the market price. So we'll start with race 1. Look how many horses are in this field. A field of, at the moment, 20 horses, but I think we've had 5 scratchings, so we're down to 15. Control A, Control C copies all the data, and then we can paste it in here. Boom. And then we don't have to scroll down anymore. We can just go to the results page. It'll show us the overlays and underlays, the viewer voted algorithm price compared to the market price, the overall score that they get. I forgot to get a piece of paper out to write all this stuff down. Let me just get that now as I can try and find it. And we can start taking down which horses the viewer voted algorithm is with. So, results. And I didn't test this before. Anyway, I'll copy this down. I thought I copied this all the way down, but what's gone wrong here? So the error is due to this column not having any values, which doesn't do anything good for this and doesn't do anything good for this. Alright, so I'm going to have to try and work out what's wrong here. I should have tested this before. So it looks like it's this column that's gone all wrong. Why is that gone? Okay, I think I know why. These are how the scores are added up. So each of these columns will get scores based off the multiplier. In this case, it's 1.2 compared to the field size. So the horses that get 15 points for being the youngest age, times that by 1.2 is 18. So that's the score they get, 18. And that'll go along for each category based off what we've said. I'll just see if that's all good for each of the categories before I go any further. Yeah, looks like that's right. So the results page should be back to normal now. It is. All right. So the on-top selection in this race happens to be the favourite, which is Vido. Let me know who you're with in race number 1 at Caulfield tomorrow, and we can see if your algorithm agrees with you, or at least everyone that voted. So the 11 is on top, Vido, and it is ahead of the 20, is it? No, it's ahead of Shadavar, number 15, Shadavar, and then Electric Tommy and Enright, if I'm not mistaken. Number 20. So I'll go through all this again. So the viewer voted algorithm price sorts these scores in ascending order, and then it converts that based on what the prices are here. It converts that into a price so that we're not, because it's too hard. The field sizes always change, so it's a bit hard just to go off the score purely to make up a market. So we're going off this viewer voted, the real price to sort out the main prices. And I've just seen From the Block is actually the second selection. So it's on 253 points, just in behind Verdot. We'll go with the three biggest overlays in the race. The biggest overlay is the 16, Illuminance. And then the second biggest is Shadavar. And the third biggest just is Cavallo Ramponte. The underlays, the biggest underlay is Sun Setting. And then the second biggest underlay is Garnacho. And the third biggest is Moonhaven. So it's able to give us overlays and underlays, and I was able to color code it so it gives us a bit more of an idea. Coles with From the Block, Adzis with Shadavar, can always back the number 11, Verdot. So we've got some differing opinions here. Which is, I guess, expected in a field of 15, but we'll put that into the sheet. So the top 5 selections in order. Top 5 selections in order. Verdot ahead of From the Block. Then Shadavar. Electric Tommy. All double figure saddle cloths, which you love to see. I love backing a double figure saddle cloth. Three biggest overlays. Illuminance. Although it's not a massive overlay, it's still an overlay. Shadavar, Cavallo Ramponte. Then the three biggest underlays are the 19 Sun Setting, the 14 Garnacho, and the 8 Moonhaven. So if we take a look at this again, Illuminance is 61 real price, and the viewer voted algorithm based off this score has it at $18. And then for Shadavar, real price 11, viewer voted algorithm $8. So that's going to be it for race number 1. We'll now move to race number 2. From the Block, on pace, on the steel with Williams aboard. It does map very nicely. It does have a good gate. And because the steps has said that it's his on-top selection, it's got to be considered. So we'll move now to race 2, which also has a field currently of 15. So this should be an easy copy and paste without an error like last time. Go back to the calculations page of the Google Sheet. All we have to do is Control V this, and it's all in there. The algorithm's worked away, and we'll see what its on-top selection has. Federer is the favourite. Skipper's Canyon's the second favourite. Actually, I think I just looked the other about 30 minutes ago, and I think Skipper's Canyon's actually the favourite now. Thought Flyer a chance, but found it too hard. Well, in a field of 15 and a benchmark 74, I don't blame you there, mate. Razzle Dazzle, don't blame you there at all. Let's go see who we've got on top. And it looks like we've got Mac Dane right down the bottom. Number 19, Mac Dane, is the on-top selection. It's got 277 points, and it is ahead of Federer, number 12. 12 Federer is second. Who's everyone with in this race? I'd be interested to know, because it's another big field. Brave Miss, third pick. And then we've got, 240 for Boga Legend. And then Fengarada. Fengarada came up as the 5th pick. In terms of overlays, Mac Dane is the highest overlay, and it's the on-top selection. That's usually a good sign. Brave Miss and Fengarada, and they're all significant overlays as well. The underlays are Skipper's Canyon. I actually didn't mind Skipper's Canyon myself. Maybe something to do with the overseas form. Maybe the algorithm doesn't take that into account that much. Second biggest overlay is Farnborough, who I'm pretty sure missed last week's run. And then Ruakaka. Ruakaka Raider, is number 17, is the third biggest underlay. So we'll input those results in. Are you with Skipper's Canyon? Are you with Federer? Are you with Mac Dane? Are you with the viewer voted algorithm? Boga Legend, and Fengarada. And the biggest overlays are in the top 5, which is all of them, which is a decent sign. 3 Fengarada. 3 biggest underlays are the 15 Skipper's Canyon, 11 Farnborough. I will say with Skipper's Canyon, it did well to win last start, but maybe a bit of second up syndrome because it was a long way off him and swarmed home last start. Federer, lay of the day. He has drawn very wide, so I think I can agree with that. Federer for Adzi. Blind GKs with Stackhouse. I'm pretty sure he's riding Skipper's Canyon. Again, some differing opinions in race number 2, but we love to see that. At least one of you will be happy when the race is over and the winner is known. 14 people currently in the stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. In case you're a bit perplexed, I've got a hoodie and a beanie on. It's very cold. It's very cold. And it's going to be even colder tomorrow, which is awesome. Let's go to race 3. Fillies and Mares 78 over 1,400 metres, and this has got a field of 16 to do battle. Control A, Control C, Control V, and all the data is crunched automatically, which is what I love about this algorithm, and we can just go ahead. I don't know why Gala Queen, Bossy Bonita, and even Damehood is a 5-year-old filly, because that makes sense. The results, this is what we've got. Kira is the on-top selection, and I know someone who likes Kira in this chat. Vinny's entered the chat. Welcome, Vinny. Kira. I'm pretty sure that was in Adzi's Last Man Standing. Or was it Hayden's? No, I'm pretty sure it was Adzi's. And lucky enough for you, mate, the viewer-voted algorithm is with you. Kira is the on-top selection in the viewer-voted algorithm. Ahead of Bossy, just ahead of Bossy Bonita, who I'm pretty sure is in Adzi's in Hayden's Last Man Standing. So those two have done very well on the viewer-voted algorithm. In for third, Dame Hood. Dame Hood in for third. And then Trial by Press number 8 and Capricorn Star. No sign of Gala Queen. So, I mean, myself, looking at this race from afar, I didn't mind Gala Queen, but we've got a different horse to cheer on now, and that is Kira. I just need to enlarge this by another decimal point to see who's the second biggest overlay, and it is Dame Hood. Kira, clearly the biggest overlay. Dame Hood the second, and Trial by Press the third. The underlays, Gala Queen. Gala Queen is an underlay. Sassy Boom is an underlay, and Riverina Power is an underlay as well. So, we'll put that in the Google Doc. Kira is the top selection, ahead of Bossy Bonita in the viewer-voted algorithm. Dame Hood, Trial by Press. Gee, I've forgotten how to type for the last 5 seconds. Capricorn Star. 3 biggest overlays. We've got Kira. We've got Dame Hood. And we've got the 8. Trial by Press. The biggest underlays are Gala Queen. Forgot about the dot points. Sassy Boom. Who's everyone with in race 3? Sassy Boom scratched. Well, that's no good. To be honest, I can't be bothered going in and changing it now. Gala Queen, Blake to get this one up after Federer failure. Well, you've gone early, but don't mind it. Kira for me in this one. Yep, Adzi's Last Man Standing. Actually, let's take a look at Kira's form because it's a significant overlay. We're in a Fillies and Mares 78 over 1400 metres. Won a Fillies and Mares 70 last start over 1400. Lightweight, good gait. It won't be trapped on the inside. It won't be trapped wide. 28 plus days in between runs. That's very important. That's profitable, so that's good. I also want to take it Mac Dane because the viewer voted algorithm was also with it. William Sticks just lost last start, benchmark 70, 1800 metres, now rises to a benchmark 74, but shouldn't do as much work as last start. I think that horse is some sort of a chance. I'm happy with how it's gone so far. The first race, there wasn't really any significant overlays, but in the second race, Mac Dane and Kira are significant overlays and also top selections. Here we go, race 4. Anyway, let's copy and paste. Let's copy and paste. If Spanish Blaze isn't the $1.01 favourite on the viewer voted algorithm, then I don't know what I'll do. We'll get rid of these 3 horses because they're not in this race. Let's pray that Spanish Blaze is an overlay. This is good. It doesn't even have a price. Let me go in and check what's wrong with Spanish Blaze. We're sorting by row 36. What hasn't it got? Oh, probably a last start. I assume it's a last start problem. Yeah, it's got no margin. Well, it ended up winning. Actually, we've got Racing Australia up. We can go and check this. A length. It won by a length last start. Oh, I forgot to change the last start margins. It shouldn't matter too much, but I'm meant to make these negative because if a horse has won by 4 lengths, it's going to assume that that's a 4-length defeat. I might go back after this live stream and change the first 3 races, but they shouldn't change that much, I wouldn't think. Now let's go in and check those results. Spanish Blaze is an overlay. That's a start. It's not the biggest overlay, but it is an overlay. A significant overlay and an on-top selection again in this race. The biggest overlay and the first selection, which is what we love to see. And it's number 5, Fire of Etna. Fire of Etna is the on-top selection, ahead of Stylish, ahead of Spanish Blaze. Yes. Spanish Blaze should be the on-top selection, but, well, Castle on High, and then Kappa. Biggest overlay, we have Fire of Etna, Spanish Blaze, and then the 11, Freak of Nature. And the biggest underlays, we have Kappa. Second biggest is Eye of the Eagle, and then Home Rule. Where am I? Here I am. Alright, so the viewer voted algorithm selects Fire of Etna. Who's everyone with in race 4? Let me know. I know who I'm with, and I'm sure you know who I'm with. Do I colour code it green already? Or should I wait till after the race to make sure? Castle on High. Kappa 39. Biggest overlays, we've got Fire of Etna. Spanish Blaze. Who else is with Spanish Blaze? I hope when I look over at the chat, at least one of you is with Spanish Blaze. 3 biggest underlays. Got Kappa 39. 14, Eye of the Eagle. 3, Home Rule. And then we get on to group racing. Eye of the Eagle been chasing it last few starts. It's been running well. It's the second biggest underlay though. Cole's with Spanish Blaze. Yes. Thank you, Cole. Thank you. That fills me with a lot more confidence. 20 people currently in the stream. Thanks, everyone. The steps, Fire of Etna once again on the paint. I assume that means you're with it, which you and the viewer voted algorithm combine. Also, Fire of Etna and last minute. Oh, you do actually as well, Adzi. I mean, you contributed heavily to this algorithm, so maybe that's why Fire Ventnor and Kira have popped up. Big day for the Freedmans in store, we say. Or the viewer voted algorithm says. In terms of all the races, probably the PB Lawrence I'm looking forward to the most. Actually, no, Spanish Blaze, then PB Lawrence, and then probably the Vane Stakes. This a very good quality competitive group of three newly seasoned 3-year-old colts and geldings. Copy that. Go back to the start. Paste that in. Delete all these rows because they're not in this race. Make sure from now on to go to the last start and margins and change these to negatives so the algorithm truly knows what's going on. And we'll go to the results. Who is on top in the Vane Stakes for the viewer voted algorithm? It is Jimmy Ricard, who is also my selection if you haven't watched the preview yet. Jimmy Ricard on top. It's ahead of Shining Smile. Then Son of Kirk and Express Class. Three biggest overlays are Express Class, Shaggy is an overlay, and those are the only two. Tycoon Stars an underlay, Hay Street is an underlay. Let me know who you're with in the Vane Stakes. We know Jimmy Ricard was clearly on top as well. Who's everyone with in the Vane? Jimmy Ricard, Shining Smile, 6 Son of Kirk, 7 Express Class, and I forgot to look for a 5th selection. That would be Shaggy. Those two horses are the biggest overlays, and the biggest underlays are the ones that are not in the top 5, which is Tycoon Star and Hay Street. So 7 out of the 8, no. Yeah, all 7 horses have been mentioned in this little bracket here. Not much tactical speed here. Does Shaggy pinch it? I think it could. Cole's with Tycoon Star, Vinny's with Shining Smile, Steps is with Son of Kirk, I'm with Jimmy Ricard. That's 5 different selections across 5 different people. That's how even this Vane Stakes is, and that's why I'm looking forward to see who puts their hand up. I need a new page because I've run out of paper. We'll now move on to the Quezette. Group 3, Fillies, Scenic Point, Needs Luck. It's now got gate 1 because of a scratching. Paste that in. We'll go to the last start margins and change them accordingly because I forgot to the first 3 races. Does Scenic Point land on top in the viewer voted algorithm? No. And it is clearly Signature Scent. Signature Scent ahead of Scenic Point, who's going to be an underlay, but it's the second selection. Semel Rouge, and then the Playwright and Blue Hotel. Yeah. And Blue Hotel. 3 biggest overlays are Semel Rouge, the 11 Saddlecloth, Signature Scent, Blue Hotel. 3 biggest underlays will be My Gladiola, Scenic Point, and Ferrivia. Who's everyone with in the Quezette? The viewer voted algorithm says Signature Scent. Ahead of Scenic Point. Semel Rouge, the roughie. The Playwright. Blue Hotel. I actually backed Semel Rouge on debut, and it did pretty well to win, so I'm hoping it can do something good again tomorrow as the viewer voted algorithm is with it. Signature Scent, Blue Hotel. 3 underlays. My Gladiola. Scenic Point. And Ferrivia. Who's everyone with? Scenic Point will need heaps of luck. Barrier 2. It's in Barrier 1 now, so it's going to need even more luck. Got Scenic Point and Signature Scent. I think we'll wake up and Scenic Point will be scratched. Bomber's a chance tonight. That's not a racing question, whoever you are. That's not a racing question, but yes, we will get within 4 goals. Signature Scent has the wet track form, correct. Thought custom maps well, but looks a tricky race. Definitely does. A lot of even fillies in that one. But Signature Scent came out on top. Semel Rouge, the biggest overlay, and Signature Scent was quite a big overlay as well. Listed Regal Roller is in race 7. I know who I'm with here. Top weight, Arkansas Kid. Will the algorithm agree with me? Hope so. Control A, Control C, Control V. I love doing that. And then all the data just gets crunched by itself. And all we have to do is click on this button here and it'll tell us who the on-top selection is in race 7 from a viewer-voted algorithm perspective. Who are you with in the Regal Roller? Let me know so by the time I look over I can see who you all are with. The top selection will be Pop Award. Pop Award, can it win again? Mare in form. We love mares in form in the racing world. It's going to be ahead of Lose Some, Win More. And then we've got Recommendation, Royal Insignia. Royal Insignia and Keep You Cool. The biggest overlays are Pop Award and then Keep You Cool and Kiko. Kiko's an overlay, but it's only just an overlay. Arkansas Kid's an underlay. That's no good. I'm a bit saddened by that. Brudenell's an overlay. Lose Some, Win More's an overlay. An underlay. Let's input that in. So Pop Award, are you with Pop Award? I was with it last preparation when it raced at Sandown Wednesday for 2 races in a row, I'm pretty sure, and it won. I wasn't on it first up. I was on Verdot, and it came second. Does anyone agree with the algorithm and think Pop Award deserves to be on top? On top and biggest overlay. Keep You Cool, Kiko. And then biggest underlays, Arkansas Kid, Brudenell, Lose Some, Win More. Pop Award for Adzi. Gee, you're the viewer voted algorithm and you just think alike. Arkansas Kid for Cole, hopefully. Brudenell for the steps. Lose Some, Win More for Vinny. Pop Awards in Adzi's multi as well. Alright, next week when you do your last man standing, I'm just going to look at every horse very closely, and then I won't even have to look at this viewer voted algorithm. I'll just write it down. Pop Award has an amazing will to win, but the HT is the concern. Otherwise, I'm with her. What does HT stand for? I know that it's not in well at the weights Pop Award. Arkansas Kid overrated. What did you just say? You can't disrespect the kid like that. Watch it come out and win and pay $7.50, as I said in Drift or Fern. Nah, I'm just kidding. It'll probably get beat. I would have used up all my luck on Spanish Blaze. All right, now we'll get on to now we get on to the PB Lawrence, the feature, the Group 2. Private Eye's the favourite. Evaporate's the second favourite. And then so on. Let's see. Let's see what the algorithm. Adsy, have you got one in your multi for this race? Because if you have, it's going to come out on top. Control A, Control C, Control V. Who does everyone think is going to be on top in the viewer voted algorithm for the PB Lawrence? Is it Private Eye? Is it not? 3, 2, 1. Yellow Sam. Wow. Highest score and biggest overlay. They've combined again. The biggest overlay and the top score have combined again. And to be honest, me personally, I don't mind Yellow Sam in the PB Lawrence. I know it's up in grade, but it's a mare fit in form and just keeps rising to the challenge. Does anyone agree with Yellow Sam? Nah, not this one for Adsy. Oh, well, bad luck. Maybe in the last race, maybe. We'll see. So Yellow Sam is the on-top selection, ahead of Evaporate. What does everyone think of Yellow Sam's chances? I'd be interested to know, because I actually didn't mind it myself tomorrow. Moira is the 4th pick, and Anisette is the 5th pick. I'll tell you what, if one of Waller's mares, either number 8 or number 9, comes out tomorrow and runs really well, it's going to win a Group 1 this spring. I don't know which Group 1 it'll win, but if one of those two come out tomorrow and run really well, it'll be in the Futures Bets on Sunday for the review show. Yellow Sam on top. Sepples is the second biggest overlay, and the third is Anisette. In terms of the underlays, Private Eye is a massive underlay on the viewer voted algorithm. So is Here to Shock, and number 5, Desert Lightning. Vinny's got Private Eye. Algorithm biased. Well, I mean, I am the Salmonator after all. Here to Shock for the steps. Razzle Dazzle loads up on Private Eye. You've been quite reserved all throughout the live stream, saying that this is too hard, and then you just got bang, Private Eye. So maybe that's a sign it'll win. Anisette a watch. I think it is. And at $41, I mean, Mark Zara's on. It's only had one run in Australia. Surely that's over the odds from a logical perspective. Vinny's got Private Eye surgery. I see what you did there. All right, let's move on. Race 9. The last. Benchmark 100, 1600. Revelare is the commanding favourite. And I don't mind Revelare tomorrow. I might add that in tomorrow for a unit play, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Let's go. Let's go to the calculations. Control V. Who's everyone with in this race? Is Revelare on top? I assume it will be because it's got a good win strike rate and all of that the algorithm looks at. 3, 2, 1. No, it is not. And we've got another top selection and biggest overlay. Hope one of these win tomorrow. It is Running By, who ran very well last start against Zoo Sensation. I was quite impressed with its run. Too Darn Discreet is the second biggest score. Revelare, the third biggest score. Are you with or against Revelare? Let me know. Kings Valley is the 4th biggest score, and the 5th is Miss Tazi. Biggest, I just realised for the past couple of races I forgot to update this again. This win margin. Actually, it shouldn't matter for this particular race, but yeah, sorry about that. Did anything change? Not really. Running By is the biggest overlay. Second biggest overlay is Cadmus and Miss Tarzi. Biggest underlay is Revelare. Second biggest underlay, Cafe Millennium, and then the third biggest is Ocean Beyond. Alright, does anyone like Running By? I forgot to put in this for the PB Lawrence. I'm so sorry. Let's quickly do this. Yellow Sam, Evaporate, Sepples, Moira, Anisette. Biggest overlays, Yellow Sam, Sepples, Anisette, Private Eye, Here to Shock, Desert Lightning, and then we'll put in the selections, overlays and underlays for this last race, and then outline some quaddies. Running By, Too Darn Discreet, Revelare, Kings Valley, Miss Tarzi. Three biggest overlays, we've got Running By ahead of Cadmus, and then Miss Tarzi. Biggest underlays are Revelare, then Cafe Millennium, and Ocean Beyond. Who's everyone with? The eye surgery was not a joke. The eye surgery was not a joke. It was autocorrect. Oh, it was Running By, a dead set dry tracker. Well, it won't be too wet tomorrow, but I guess it is a viewer voted algorithm. Viewer voted algorithm was not biased to Yellow Sam. That's not how it works. Well, I think Champman 195 was just having a bit of a laugh when he said that it was favouring Sam. Who else is everyone with? Miss Tarzi for Adzi as a roughie. Cadman. I think you had autocorrect as well. It's Cadmus, but no, he's a superstar for the Giants. Aaron Cadman. Adzi, gotta go legend. Thank you very much for tuning in. Same with everybody else. Thank you for tuning in. Forgot you for the steps. Pretty much every race tomorrow, we've all got differing opinions. So, looks a tough day. Let's quickly go through all the races again, and then we'll do quaddies. So, race 1, Verdot's the top selection. There wasn't really any big overlay. Illuminance and Shadavar were the top 2. Mac Dane was the top selection and the biggest overlay. Kira was the biggest selection and the biggest overlay. Fire Ventnor was the top selection and the biggest overlay. Jimmy Ricard was the top selection, but the biggest overlay was Express Class. Signature Scent, but the biggest overlay was Samel Rouge. Pop Award, top and best overlay. Yellow Sam, top and best overlay. Running By, top and best overlay. According to your guys' algorithm, and a quarter of what I contributed to it. So now let's go through some quaddies. We'll go a skinny quaddie first, and then a larger quaddie. For the skinny quaddie, I think... Where are we? We're going to go for 12, 16, and 19. Federer, Brave Miss, and Mac Dane. Leaving out Skipper's Canyon, it's a significant underlay on the viewer voted algorithm. I've got to go back to this page. For this one, we're going to go for Bossy Bonita, Kira, and Dame Hood. For a skinny quaddie, I only want to max it at 3 selections per race. For race 4, we'll go 5, 7, 8, Fire of Etna, Stylish, and you guessed it, Spanish Blaze. Then race 5, Jimmy Ricard's the top selection. Shining... Oh, this one's a bit tough because the 4th selection is the biggest overlay, but there's 3 selections ahead of it that look pretty good. Can we go 2, 5, 6, 7, or is that too many horses? No, we can't do that because that's $108 for a skinny Quaddie. No, we've got to cut some of these out, I reckon. Let's cut out Brave Miss. We'll cut out Dame Hood. That can be the longer Quaddie. We cannot cut out Spanish Blaze under any circumstances. We're going to have to go $48 for 100%. As long as it's below $50 for 100%, I'm okay with that. Now we'll go for a longer Quaddie. Fingerada's got to be in. We'll go 3, 12, 16, the top 5 selections. Race 3, I guess we can go the top 5 selections again. So that's Fingerada, Federer, Brave Miss, Boga Legend, MacDane into Capricorn Star, Trial by Press, Bossy Bonita, Kira, Dame Hood into Fire of Etna, Stylish, Spanish Blaze, Kappa 39, Freak of Nature, Castle on High into Shining Smile, Shaggy, Jimmy Ricard, Son of Kirk, Express Class. 5 by 5 by 6 by 5. If anyone can do some quick maths in the chat. As I try and do it in my head. It is 750. So that's your longer early Quaddie. The skinny late Quaddie. Let's go Private Eye. Tough day except for the Spaniard. Vamos. Yes. Carlos Alcaraz. And Spanish Blaze. We should have them in a multi if they ever come up in the same day. Skinny Quaddie will go for Signature Scent, Scenic Point, Semel Rouge. No. We'll just go 4 and 6. Scenic Point, Signature Scent. And then we'll go for... what are we going to go for here? This one's a tough one. The race 7's a tough one to figure out. 4 and 10. 3, 4, 10. We just go 10, 1 out. Pop Award. Yellow Sam, Evaporate has got to be in there. 6 and 11. Might throw in Sepples as well. And then Running By, Revelare's got to be in there. And that means Too Darn Discreet has to be in there as well. So that's $18 for a skinny Quaddie. And then the bigger Quaddie, we'll go 1, 4, 5, 6, 11. The Playwright, Scenic Point, Blue Hotel, Signature Scent, Semel Rouge. Race 7, we'll go for 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is Recommendation, Keep Your Cool. No, Recommendation, Lose Some, Win More, Keep Your Cool, Royal Insignia, Kiko, and Pop Award. Then we're going to go for 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Evaporate, Sepples, Moira, Anisette, and Yellow Sam, leaving out Private Eye. Race 9, we're going to go for 6, 8, 11, 12, 13, and 14. That is Running By, Revelare... No, Running By, Cadmus, Revelare, Too Darn Discreet, Miss Tarzi, and Kings Valley. Leaving out Cafe Millennium. 5 by 6 by 5 by 6 is 900. Gee, that's a lot. This late Quaddie's going to want to pay good. $900 for a longer Quaddie. Thoughts on the Rosebud? I think Peloton will be hard to beat. I don't see too much value in that race, to be honest. Let's go through all this again and then we'll end the stream. On top in the first, Verdot, no real overlays. MacDane is the top selection and biggest overlay in this race. Skipper's Canyon, a significant underlay. Kira is the top selection and biggest overlay in this race, with Gala Queen, a significant underlay. Fire of Etna is the top selection and biggest overlay in this race, with Kappa 39, a significant underlay. Jimmy Ricardo, top selection. Express Class, the biggest overlay. Tycoon Star is an overlay, but it wasn't too big. Signature Scent, the on-top selection here. Biggest overlay, Semel Rouge, and there was no real underlays, but the biggest one was My Gladiola. In the Regal Roller, Papa Ward was the top selection and the biggest overlay. Biggest underlay, quite significantly as well, Arkansas Kid. Yellow Sam was the top selection and biggest overlay in race 8. Private Eye, very big underlay in the viewer vote algorithm. Running By, top selection and biggest overlay in the last. Revelare, bit of an underlay, but it was also the third selection. In terms of the early Quaddie, those are your numbers. Longer Quaddie, those are your numbers for the early part. And then the late Quaddie, these are your numbers. And the longer Quaddie, these are your numbers. Alright, that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks everyone for tuning in to this live stream. All these selections will be available tomorrow on the YouTube community tab when I put out my post about my final unit plays, and also the last man standing from Sky High Horse Racing and Cole. Wait for this to load, which it takes a long time to do. Thanks everyone for watching once again. Hopefully you back a winner. Maybe you follow the viewer voted algorithm in and you can back a winner each way, because there's a few good priced horses in there that came up top selection and the biggest overlay. And until next video, bye for now. And then I have to wait for 10 or so seconds, because when you watch the live stream back on replay, it cuts off at about 10 seconds before the end, so I never get to say bye for now.